Good evening everybody and welcome back to a brand new game. This is my first commentary. Good to be back after my long holiday. It was great being away, but it's great coming back. This is round number 3 of TTL F1, season number 14, which takes us to the Spanish Grand Prix at the Circuit de Catalunya in Barcelona. My name is Kieran McGinley, and joining me for the first time in the commentary box, in the new game as well, is Andy Campbell. Andy, the dream team has been reunited. We're here at the Spanish Grand Prix for round 3. Can Laronix make it 2 out of 2? Welcome along. There's so many questions we need answered.
There's plenty. Hello everybody. Yes, first commentary for F1 2019. I had a bit of commentary break myself as well. Feeling refreshed, feeling vitalised. Liking this game much more than last season's, as we were just joking about. I've played more of this game since it came out, and I probably did the entirety of 2018 away from commentary. So it's definitely something. I think a lot of the drivers are enjoying it as well. Lyronix is the man to beat. He's going for a hat-trick tonight, actually. He's going for 3 out of 3 because he's won the first 2 rounds at Melbourne and at Shanghai in China. Can anyone stop the German in the racing? I think that's the question tonight.
Well, absolutely. So obviously we come to the Spanish Grand Prix. If you've missed it already, TTL F1 only runs on a Thursday night now, which means it's a shorter calendar. So this season it's going to be the odd numbered rounds in the actual season, and next season it's going to be the even numbered rounds, and so on and so forth. So it might catch us out a couple of times, because actually the next round I believe will be Canada. Yes, because that's normally round 7. See, we're there's so much so that we learn the calendar and then it's all, it's the every other one. But yeah, so Canada will be next up in the calendar. So yeah, odd season followed by even season. It means, you know, this season we don't have Silverstone even, so that really will, you know, spice everything up. And also, Andy, it means no Monaco this season either. That's till next season.
Yeah, I mean, although it's a new game, I still despise Monaco when I'm driving. I end up in more front wings off than Steph has pit stops. Sorry, Steph, I had to bring it up and start it fresh in the new game. Get in there quick, there we go. Hello, Steph, hope you're doing well. But yeah, it is different. It is definitely, you know, keeps us on our toes. Does make for a bit of interesting. No Silverstone, which is a track, as if you've listened to TTTV before, you know I absolutely love that place. It's one of my favourite tracks ever. But it does make for some interesting scenarios. It means, if I remember correctly as well, Kieran, no Spa. No Spa day.
I think you're right, in no Spa day, yeah.
So I'm sure right. It'll go Canada, then it'll be Austria, Germany. No, there will be Spa actually, it'll be no Hungary. See, there we go, we're already confusing the calendar, we're not even started tonight.
Absolutely, and we're back. Did you miss
New
us?
season, same old stuff.
Well, I have to say, there was some pre-season testing. We both missed the first 2 rounds of F1, but we are back here now, ready to see the new teams. Everybody get used to the fact that the red tyres are now called the soft tyres, the yellow ones are called the mediums, the white ones are the hards. And also get used to the fact that it's a Racing Point and an Alfa Romeo. Have we got that?
Yes.
Good. Right, now let's turn this
we've got that so far.
Now let's
during
turn
the
this
race
into a
at
game.
some point. Who says it first? Yeah, probably me, and probably before the end of qualifying.
It will be funny if I actually say, and then they go out on the super soft tyres. Here we go. Here we go again. But no, I'm really looking forward to this. It looks absolutely stunning at times, this game, especially when you get to the night circuits. I cannot wait for next season when we see Bahrain under the lights. It looks spectacular. I love it.
It does, definitely. It's a beautiful looking game. I think it plays so much better as well. I feel much more comfortable when it comes to the driving, although I'm still better sitting here commentating than I am driving, I can tell you that much for a fact. But yeah, that's definitely, you know, I think it's a big improvement on the previous entry, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what we get tonight. Obviously, same point scenario as before, but remember, of course, a bonus point for the fastest lap as long as you're in the top 10 as well. So that is something that is obviously a part of the game and is a part of the championship as well. So an extra point up for grabs for anybody who can get the fastest lap of the race as well. It's no longer just a little extra trophy.
Absolutely, and I think, well, I really do want the Andy Campbell No Penalties Trophy to exist, but unfortunately it doesn't.
It exists in my mind, and that'll do.
That's all it needs. That is everything it needs to be. But we're jumping in now here at the Circuit de Catalunya in Barcelona. Won't be appearing on the 2020 version of this game, at least. Dropped for Zandvoort. So we've got one more game to appreciate Spain. I think it still will be used as a test venue, that's for sure. But I think the real issue was that drivers would turn up for pre-season testing at the Circuit de Catalunya, and then there'd actually be a round, sort of five rounds into the season, you'd be at the test track again. So all that data you've built up in the pre-season, you just get to use again for round 5. So that's maybe why it might have been dropped. I think that could be a good reason why.
I mean, it's certainly when you look at it from a driving and a fan perspective, it definitely makes sense that way. I've never been a fan of racing at places where you do massive amounts of testing. The main part that's taken Barcelona, by the looks of it, off the calendar from next season is, if anybody, I'm going to get political here, I apologise. I couldn't. Oh, and it's raining as well, lovely. I could do with some of that here because we've got this heat wave. It would take away the heat that's here right now. Gee whiz. But yeah, a bit political. Most people probably know that Barcelona, the Catalunya region, is in a bit of a disagreement with the Spanish government because they want to be an independent country. And to what I've read before, I believe the Spanish government have cut a bit of funding towards Catalonia, and that in turn has meant the Catalonian government can't fund the circuit as much, meaning they can't keep up with the fees as well. So it has turned into money, to what I've read as well. Well, supposedly, for Zandvoort, just to flip it on the other side, I think they've got a capacity for the weekend of like 150,000, and there's been 1 million separate requests for tickets already. So there's great hunger right there in Holland. Pretty much all of them will be Max Verstappen fans, surely.
Well, absolutely. The Orange Army will be out, and as Lando Norris says, it's great to see the McLaren fans out in great support. Here's Graham then, making his way onto a damp and treacherous circuit here in Barcelona. Not often you see the rain here in Spain, but there's a poem about that. I don't know what it is, though.
Yes, well, the rain in Spain normally stays mainly on the plain.
There you go.
But here it is on the coast. There you go. See, I'm a fountain of knowledge.
You see, yeah, this is what these streams missed. You know what? The Andy with his just facts that he can draw every second of the day. I love it. It's great to be back.
Usually the most random stuff as well, but there you go. But yeah, definitely going to be an interesting qualifying session. The weatherman in the chat, Maze, has dropped in that it is going to be a dry race, so at least we're not going to need to worry about the rain there. But of course, Parc Fermé's in, in force as well. So surely the drivers, you would imagine, will be looking more towards the race with their setup, with it being a 50% race, rather than this 18-minute qualifying session. So that's definitely something that will be interesting to see as well. Does anybody decide to maybe add a little bit of extra wing to help them maybe get further up the grid in qualifying or not? Who knows? Can I, please? It's been a while. Graham's coming to the end of that. May I?
Oh, go on then with Graham. First one on the new game. Take it away.
Let's get going then. So down the front straight, DRS will be enabled in the dry, but obviously rain. Looking for the braking in the dry, you're looking for that little bit of tarmac between the green lines and get down to 4th gear, into the corner. You've obviously gone down to 3rd because it is wet. Down into turn 3 now. Really treacherous corner at the best of times. It will eat the tyres up really badly. And then into turn 4, you can usually carry quite a lot of speed through here if you get the apex nice. Obviously the rain making it extremely difficult and more treacherous. Down towards turn number 5, tricky corner, it drops downhill slightly from you at the apex, very easy to lock up the inside tyre there. Through the curve of turn number 6 and up towards 7 and 8, I've lost it many a time through here trying to get on the power. Graham's managed to keep a hold of it. up to Campsa turn 9. Through here, some people can go through that flat out. DRS would be open down here in the dry one more time. Down to Lukaku at turn 10. You're looking for about 100 metres in the dry. A little bit more required in the rain, which Graham has missed there. As we head up the hill, turn 11. Very easy to get it wrong as you go flying over that curb for a line of least resistance into turn number 12. Tricky uphill corner, and then into Europe car turn 13, into that annoying Mickey Mouse chicane that they now have here. Turns 14 and 15, taking it easy over the curbs, nice and simple. Looking to get the best power out of the corner through the final corner of turn 16. DRS there's the line, and across the line. The first lap time for the evening is a 1:33.665 for the Toro Rosso, and interestingly, for a proportion of that lap, he didn't seem to have any ERS. It wasn't working, and Lyronix, your championship leader, has gone and smashed it already by about 3 seconds.
It just shows how difficult these conditions actually are, and when the rain starts pouring, it sort of draws the field closer together. There's usually there 1:34.1. I'm looking out my window, Andy, and I've got about the same weather as what we've got now, but except with more flashes of lightning. So I think I'd rather be in this commentary box right now. That seems like a good idea.
Yeah, well, we're expecting thunder here as well, and considering how warm it's been today, I'm Scottish, obviously, we don't deal with the heat well as it is, so this has been cooking me all day, and I've got about 3 different fans on in here to keep me cool, so I could actually do with a bit of rain right now, because I think it would cool me down a little bit. Spike's just gone across the line, he's into third, 1.8 seconds down on Lyronix. Sean in second at the moment, just under 1.5 seconds down in that Ferrari. 6 drivers out of the 12 that have set a lap so far, missing a few drivers tonight. I'm sure the heat's playing a bit in effect, and 33 laps in any conditions is bad enough, but in this heat that'll definitely not be good news. He's out of the session as well, having only gone up to P5, so that's interesting.
Yeah, Sector 2, where the yellow flags are. I'm not quite sure what's happened there. Obviously I can't click his name because that just brings up his profile.
Oh, I found it. Crazy Legs has just gone by him. He's come through turn 9 at La Campsa and he's facing the wrong way in the middle of the track. He's now disappeared now. But I'm guessing he's either taken too much curb on the inside on the entrance, or he's got far too much curb on the exit on the outside, spun the tyres up and away towards the inside wall, as Crazy Legs has just spun the hat as well, so that's definitely not got much energy in it.
Yeah, that's a very rich joke of you, Andy. Well done. I see, it's back and forth all the time. Here comes Wyatt then, down towards this left-hander. Very, very tricky. When you turn the car in, it very much cambers away and to and fro, left and right. Very tricky to get the traction in zone there, but White made that look very, very easy as he makes his way now down towards that tight left-hander through towards the third sector. Spike goes top then, 1:30.1 in the Mercedes, of course, last season, managing to finish high up. And of course he'll want to try and mount a championship challenge, but with 11 races, it's a much shorter season, so there's much less room for errors. Look at that, he's sliding around there at turn 3. That's amazing. I love that.
Yeah, drifting through turn 3 there is Spike in the Mercedes. Definitely not how it was designed to be driven, but hey, in these conditions you'll do whatever you can. But it's a pretty decent lap time there. Put him in provisional pole at the moment. White's just popped himself up into P3, the Gordon into P5 as well. So plenty going on. Still got a few cars in the pits. Mays, Alan Kay and George are still in pit lane. Graham has set a lap, but he's back into pits as well. Plaster in the McLaren is currently on an outlap, and I've been watching Crazy Legs in the Haas, but he is struggling. In fact, he's off into the gravel there. He's managed to keep it together at least. Again is at Campsa, that tricky turn 9, which caught out Yuzi, so at least he's still in the session. But I've noticed it, I know a few other people have mentioned it as well. If you have a spin and the tyres heat up, it takes an awful long time for them to cool back down, and you end up just spinning more and more. So it's not the easiest thing to keep the temperature out of the tyres, even in these rainy conditions.
Plaster then, who was in sort of pre-season testing and racing. I was racing alongside him, and he might be a driver to watch. He's getting better and better, and this game, these conditions, whatever his setup here is, seems to be working for him, because he's getting in some good lap times, and some good points should surely follow.
Definitely. I mean, myself, Plaster, Allen and Mason, that were having a few online races just not long after the game came out, and Plaster was very quick in name as well, and that was within the first week of the game. So, as you say, definitely want to keep an eye on. We get yellow flags all around the track at the moment. Oh, there's one of them, Lyronics. Off at that is turn number. That's coming into the final chicane, so he's lost it through turn 13 there. Heading back to pit lane, so that was one of the yellow flags. Not sure what the other ones were. Everyone else is still pointing in the right direction. But yeah, he was impressive in some of those lobbies that we were doing. He definitely seems to have found some pace in this game that seemed to be missing in the last game. So he's definitely one to watch on a good day. He can definitely spring a surprise.
You're just saying that yellow flag earlier was actually Plaster, caught out of the gravel trap at turn 7 and 8. So, the commentator's curse is real, Andy, and we fail to realise that every single time.
I'm very, very good at it. It's something that I've realised. Alan Kay was off as well at the top of the hill, turn 11 and 12. We got yellow flag in sector 1 and sector 2, so I get the feeling there's a car going slowly somewhere, but it's now disappeared. So I think it might have been Schnees, maybe. I'm not too sure.
Yeah,
he's got a bit slowly there. Yeah.
Well, he's got front wing damage on the right hand side. That right hand end plate is off, so he must have hit the wall somewhere. So in these tricky conditions, it's caught out Mason. He'll have to make his way back to the pits and get that nose changed. But luckily for him, it's pretty much instant.
Yeah, it's definitely one thing that's helpful in this, and obviously because we've only got the 12 drivers tonight, which is not normally the amount of drivers that we would like to have, it does mean that qualifying outside the top 10 isn't too big of a problem, and because it's rain with a dry race, everyone's going to have a free choice of tyre as well. Gee whiz, that was a huge flash of lightning behind me in the window. That came right through and lit up the room.
You see what I'm talking about? Yeah, but we're in different countries, by the way, and we're getting the same storm. I love that. Oh,
it's just mental how much this weather has been. I mean, I heard bits that London was 39 today. I mean, you might as well take a sandwich for your lunch, put it outside the window for an hour, and you've got yourself a toastie.
Oh, I love it. Oh, it's great to be back.
Well, welcome to TTTV.
Make sure you're subscribed. Oh, I love it, I love it. Here comes White then through turn 9, all the way now towards that left-hander at turn 10. As you said on your hot lap, Andy, very heavy braking zone coming up and a very tricky corner as well. Could be a good opportunity to get an overtaking, but really it's quite a tight corner. You've got this almost chicane-like bit as it catches White out just a little bit. The car snapped on him there, and he just about gathered it up before he hit the grass too much. We head now in towards turn 13. Something tells me though that this is going to be an abandoned lap from White. Yeah,
he's heading for pit lane. His last lap put himself up into P2, just 5/100ths down on Spike's time. At the moment, Plaster's managed to get himself up into 4th place, 1.5 seconds down. So the leaderboard is chopping and a changing. Mays and George are the only 2 drivers still to set a lap time at the moment. Yellow flag in sector 2 has disappeared as well, so whoever was off track has came back on pretty quickly. 6 odd minutes to go. Spike at the top right now, looking for his 2nd pole position of the season. Took pole position at the season opener at Albert Park. Can he make it his 2nd, and then can he convert it into a victory? He's had, I think it's a 2nd place and a 4th place so far this season for the Mercedes driver, and he'll certainly be looking to get himself up into that top step of the podium and stop Lyronics from taking that hat-trick of victories tonight.
Here comes Blaster then. Looks like he's coming back to the pits. No, he's staying out. So he wants to get more laps in these intermediate conditions. The thing about qualifying on these intermediate tyres is it's sort of the exact opposite of what you do when it's dry. You keep wanting to put some lap times out there to try and separate the water.
Lyronics is off, sorry. Lyronics is off, and again it's turn 9. I've not caught it. He's on the gravel, getting back on track now. But just changed on a seen the yellow flag and found the German in the gravel trap. So he's the 3rd person that I've caught to have made a mistake there. Obviously Uzi's out of the session having crashed there. Crazy Legs went wide as well, and so now has Lyronics. So turn 9's catching quite a few of them out already in these tricky conditions. Sorry to come across.
That's alright. I was just saying how probably in these tricky conditions, it's better to just keep going out there on a set of intermediates, because you disperse more water, and actually you can actually set quicker lap times on 3-lap, 4-lap old intermediates. As Crazy Legs' car, his horse there, really snapped on him through turn 3, and he's had to back right off there. He did go around a second and a half faster than his previous best, and that's a 32.8 now he set, so he's now up to 7th place. So he may be struggling out there, but a 32.8 for Crazy, that's a respectable time. He'll know there's more time to find though. He'll have to make his way back to the pits, or maybe just out there for another lap. In fact, he'll have to make his way back to the pits because he's in low fuel mode.
Yeah, it looks like he's actually ran out. He's pulling to the side of the track to let one of the Ferraris through there. But yeah, he's into low fuel. He is trundling back to pit lane at full throttle, so he is out of fuel actually, as Mays is retired from the session, so he's not set a lap time. Has Mays in the Ferrari, I believe he's in as well. So he's decided enough is enough. Plaster's decided enough as well, up in P4, yellow flag in Sector 1 and Sector 3, not too sure who that is, but yeah, Crazy Legs running really slowly, out of fuel, not too sure any other yellow flags they have now. It would seem, apart from, well, this now comes back, but no one's off the track, so it's a strange one to see why there's yellow flags.
Sorry to cut across you, it was Mays who actually lost the back end out of the final corner. His stricken car was along the start finish straight, so out of the final corner, maybe the back end just snapped on him, maybe he went onto the curb, that slippery paint there, that spun the car around. I didn't quite see it on stream, but that does mean Mays in the Ferrari has not set a lap time and will not set one unless George has anything to say about it. He actually hasn't stepped foot on this track, I don't think, just yet in this qualifying session. Maybe he's hoping for a little bit of better weather. Maybe he might try some slicks, who knows. Maybe the Williams engineers are thinking, let's just hold off a minute, let's see what happens.
I think he's just deciding, you know what, it's a dry race, and maybe he just feels that maybe he feels in terms of this track he's maybe not comfortable. Maybe he feels he's going to be around that sort of lower end part of the grid, and he feels there's no point in going out on a wet track to learn what will be
that's
nothing.
Graham off at turn number 8 there. He's hit the wall and hit it hard, and somehow that front left wheel is still intact. Sorry to cut across you there, Andy, but that is what happens at that corner. It cambers away from you and the car just gets light at the back end and it just wants to spin around. I've been a victim of that many times, and Graham is just yet another person who's caught out by that, as White goes fastest on a 1:29.7.
Yeah, it's a good lap time there from White, first driver under 1:30, and Graham doing the exact thing that I'd mentioned on the hot lap. It's so easy to spin there because, as you say, with the camber and the curbing, I've done that many a time myself, and I know plenty others have done the exact same thing also. But he's not going to get another lap in, unfortunately, so he's not going to be any better than 8th, because by the time he gets back to pits, into the garage and back out, it's going to be too late. So that's his qualifying session done. Because of that. White though, nearly 4 tenths clear of anyone else at the moment with that latest lap time. Lovely lap time from the Red Bull. Went under the radar there while we were watching everyone else and trying to figure out where the yellow flags were, but he's made a very good lap indeed. Into the final minute, 20 seconds. And in terms of the drivers that are still in the session,
Alan
only
Kay
2 of them
around.
are out of track.
Alan Kay around at exactly the same corner, although this time he's kept it out of the wall. So a little bit of saving grace there as Crazy Legs comes through. Andy, what happened there?
Oh, I didn't catch that one actually. I was just about to say Spikes just crossed the line, a minute 20 to go, but yeah, that noise was something else. Oh
right, okay. I thought it was something else out on track. So I thought, let's hand over the microphone to Andy. Let's see what it was. But oh well, never mind. But yeah, Alan Kay struggling out there in those conditions, and especially at that corner. He's not the first person to be caught out, as White goes quicker yet again, 1:29.5, and this is what we were talking about, Andy. With those tyres, it might be better to put 2 or 3 laps into them. As you can see there, those tyres have pretty much been through 2 laps, and 2 flying laps anyway.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm keeping an eye on Spike on this current lap that he's on. He's 3 tenths up in Sector 2 and what I believe is his best time. So if he carries on the way he's going, he's certainly going to improve, but it's not going to be enough to take away the pole position from White. The yellow flag Sector 3 one more time. George has decided, as expected, not to bother venturing out on track in these wet conditions. Here comes Spike though as the timer runs out. So he's going to be the first one across the line to see the checkered flag. Does he improve on his time? He does. But he's still 4 tenths down. He's the second driver into the 129s. Whereas 129.995. But it's still White who is in pole position at the moment. The Gort's just coming up towards Campster, turn number 9 at the moment, and he's off! And into the wall, that's front wheel gone. I was on board with him there just as that happened. A little bit of curb on the inside, and the rear end swaps around on him, and that is another victim of turn number 9. That's going to ruin a few laps as well. Sean's coming to the end of his lap now. He's got White just behind him in the Red Bull. Can Sean improve from 2.1 seconds down at the moment on pole position? His ERS is finished. He's used all the deployment he can during the lap. Does he improve? He does, up to 4th position and gets within a second off the pole position time. Crazy Legs and Alan Kay are the only 2 drivers still out on track. Alan's going to be the last one across the line. Here comes Crazy Legs in the Haas through the final corner. It's not going to be a pole position time. Can he improve? He does, but he still stays in 7th. And the last man across the line in the Alpha is Alan Kay, and he improves by a couple of times but stays in 10th position. So it's White in the Red Bull who takes the pole position, and that means we've had 3 different pole sitters in the first 3 races.
And as well as that, Laronix managed to grab that last place on the front row with 2nd place. But here are the standings for qualifying. So it is White on pole with 129.5. Laronix in 2nd, 0.122 seconds off. Spike in 3rd within half a second. Sean in 4th, who's looking to try and build on that good form he had for Haas last season. They got there in 5th. Blaster 6th, Crazy Legs in 7th, Graham in 8th, Husey 9th, and Alan Kay rounding out the top 10. Mays and George did not manage to set the lap time during that qualifying session. We saw Mays' car, his stricken car, on the start-finish line, so I can only assume something happened at turn 16. And I don't think George set foot on the track whatsoever, probably because, as you said, Andy, he thinks it's a dry race, so why put some lap times in on the intermediates?
Yeah, either that or the Williams crew thought it was a test in first days again and never bothered to show up, but you know.
Oh man, memories of test days. Anyway, here we are then, nice and sunny for Spain here. I wonder if it is hotter here than it is what the game says in Spain the temperature is. I reckon the game says around 33, 34 normally, and today it was about 37, 38 in the UK. So yeah, I think it's been warmer here than it is out on track with these drivers.
Yeah, it just shows you what kind of heat wave we've had as well. It's been absolutely ridiculous how hot it is, and there should be a point, again I'm getting political here, should be a point when the temperature hits so far that you should be getting a free day off work because it's too hot. But that's never going to happen.
I mean, Andy, you and I are not going to take a day off, especially when we've got racing like this.
Oh yeah, of course.
That's not happening.
I wasn't talking about this, I was talking about proper work, come on.
Oh, well, some people, Andy, have to work outside, so that doesn't matter. Anyway, anyway, we're here on now, onto the formation lap, and it will be White who will lead them down towards the first corner. Quite a long first straight, then down towards that turn 1, the first braking zone. Years and years ago, this would have been considered quite a long run down towards turn 1. Nowadays, it's relatively medium, if not quite short. With some of the runs we have towards the first braking zone. Russia comes to mind, where it seems like it's a mile before you hit the first braking zone. But White then has chosen, let me get this right, the medium tyres, the yellow wall medium tyres. Laronix also on the same. Spike then opting for the harder tyres, the white wall hard tyres. So he's looking for a long stint. Sean behind him in the Ferrari on the yellow walled mediums. Plaster and the Gort there, differing strategies going on there. The Gort on hards, Plaster on mediums. And then everyone behind. We've got Crazy Legs, we've got Graham, Husey, we've got Alan Kay, Mays and George. They're all starting on a set of medium tyres. And I have to say, looking at all these cars here, it's great to be back in the commentary box. You know, it's great to have some time away, but it's also great to be back and alongside Andy as well. Always have fun in races like these, and I'm hoping Spain delivers.
Yeah, no, it's good to be back. It's good to, you know, have a bit of time off, as you say, but ready and raring to go. Expecting the strategies to be between medium to hard or hard to medium. I don't expect to see the red marked soft tyres unless someone's within the top 10 towards the end of the race and got 20 odd second gap and fancies going for the fastest lap. The compounds used here in Spain are the three hardest compounds that Pirelli have, so the C1, the C2 and the C3 compounds, and that C3 is the soft one for this race, but I don't anticipate seeing it, as I say. 12 drivers coming to the grid. It's 2.892 miles. First hosted a race in 1991, and they even used the start and finish line for the road cycling at the 92 Olympics, so multi-purpose venue. 2 DRS zones, pit stop time around about 21 seconds on average from pit in to pit out, and that will be a time to keep an eye on later on in the race.
Absolutely, and we head towards the 5 red lights here at the Spanish Grand Prix. Here we are then in Barcelona, 5 red lights, and round 3 is underway. What are the starts like? Looks like it's a good start from Lyronix then, as the 2 leaders are going to be side by side. Then the Racing Point might take the lead, and he has done. Down towards turn 1, he's got the edge. Can he hold it in towards the braking zone? Sean there leaves his braking late, trying to get around the outside of Spike then. But look at this White battling away. There's a McLaren off in the background. That was Plaster there, who's off onto the grass, and White holds on to the lead, although Lyronix had the edge down towards turn 1. White was able to hold his own out there. Meanwhile, running on board with Graham then, he's in 7th place for 2 Toro Rosso, so looking to try and make progress here. He's now having a look down in turn number 5 here, looking at the inside of the Gort. No space there though, but look at Sean here and Spike. They're battling away for that last podium position right now, in towards turn 7 and up the hill towards turn 8. You've got there White in the lead, Lyronix and Spike 2nd and 3rd at the moment. Plaster then all the way down to 12th place, but he's not too far off the pace. Looks like there's no damage on that car, so he's able to recover. Not the ideal start, but he could have had a front wing off. That would have made everything a little bit sour, but he's managed to keep his own out there. Meanwhile, Graham then still putting that pressure on the Gort. He's got Yuzi behind him. Might be too early in the season for Team Ordis, but they're both really running the same strategy, unless of course we have that 2-stop versus 1-stop that we have seen in the past in pre-season. But there they go around the final corner then. It is White who leads then. Lyronix in 2nd, Spike 3rd, Sean 4th, Crazy Legs in 5th, the Gort in 6th, Graham in 7th, Yuzi 8th, Mays in 9th, Alan Kay 10th, George in 11th, and Plaster rounds out the top 12. All the drivers who started this race are currently running in it.
Yeah, no, Plaster was just in the wrong place, unfortunately for him. He got squeezed. We had Crazy Legs going diving up the inside. It was 4 wide briefly in the braking zone with 2 Toro Rossos and Plaster as well. Crazy got through the 3 of them and up the inside, no problem. But then the 2 Toro Rossos kind of pincered in a little bit on Plaster, to what I could see. He had nowhere he could go. It was just an unfortunate racing incident, and into turn number 1. And he's very lucky that there was no damage by the looks of it, because on the screen, one of the Toro Rossos actually went under him. He wasn't up in the air, but the game glitched it in such a way that the car went under. Oh, Uzi's round at that turn number 8. He's missed the wall. That's going to drop him down the field, but yeah, Plaster very lucky to have no damage by the looks of it, as Uzi drops himself down to last place now, having spun at turn 8. Lyronix got the jump on White as well, down towards turn 1, but the Red Bull driver managing to hold on. Spike's already out of DRS range, and it just shows you the difference. Even though it's the medium to the hard tyres, there's a little bit of difference between them, as he's now already, as we come on to lap 3 with DRS now enabled, he's not going to have that assist to help him, whereas Sean behind him is just about in range and no more at the moment. Here comes Lyronix on the slipstream. He's got the ERS management turned up to overtake mode, but can't get close enough to the back of that Red Bull into turn number 1, and he has to think about it for another day. We're only on lap 3 of 33, all the 3s in there, and it's still the same as you were on the grid for the top 4. Crazy Legs up 2 places into 5th position. Plaster's the big loser, down 4 places, but due to that turn 1 incident, and Yuzi with that spin at turn 8 is down in last. He's down 3 places from where he started.
Yeah, White doing a good job of holding on to that lead. Watch out for this battle between Alan Kay and Plaster. Of course, they're really good friends off the track, and it's a great rivalry to see. We know both of these guys can keep their tyres in really good nick for as long as possible, longer than many other drivers. Here comes Yuzi then on a charge to try and get up the inside at George. down towards turn 7, and it looks like he's got the move done, but actually he loses that back end. It swaps out him again at turn 7. He's not having the best of luck at all. Maybe there's something up with the suspension, or he's almost lost the back end as well at turn 9. So he's really pushing, and he's getting the full force of that car, really not wanting to stay in that forward direction.
I'm wondering, as I mentioned during the qualifying, if he's maybe just overheated the rear tyres a bit. The carcass temperature hasn't quite come down yet, and that's just causing him to lose grips. It feels like you're on ice. Meanwhile, Ironics again into turn number 1, despite having DRS this time, still can't get close enough to the back of that Red Bull to make a move for position. Alan Kay and Plaster having a run down the front straight. Plaster's got DRS, but that Alpha is staying ahead down the front straight, but Plaster dives down the inside into turn 1. Alan sees him coming. They're giving each other plenty of room, and the Alpha holds on to the position for now. Uzi has got past George behind him for 11th position as well, but that was a late dive from Plaster, but Alan gave him plenty of room, and then Plaster gave the room as well to make sure there was no contact between them. Meanwhile, back up front, Lyronics still within DRS range as we come through Lacamsa down towards Lacaxia now, and Spike has managed to drop Sean a little bit as well. He's managed to get 2 seconds clear of the Ferrari, so he's got himself space to just concentrate on his apexes, hitting the line. We know Spike will usually drive to a delta as well to keep those tyres in tip-top condition, and obviously being on the hard compound, he is going to be running longer into this race than the 2 drivers ahead, so he'll want to stay as close as possible and keep as much tyre life as he can so he can capitalise when the front 2 come into the pits. So come round the final corner to start lap number 5, and let's see, can the Racing Point close up to the back now of the Red Bull? We've got yellow flags in sector 3, we'll find out what those are shortly, but again, Lyronics can't do anything, and it's still as you were at the lead.
Absolutely, the yellow flag was for Crazy Legs. He lost it on the exit of turn 15. So he's come into the pits now. Maybe there is a bit of damage to that car. We just quickly saw it on the stream as we were trying to keep up with this battle for the lead as well. Meanwhile, this battle between Alan Kay and Plaster, we've already seen how slippery that Alpha actually is in a straight line. That even with DRS, Plaster just can't seem to catch up. He can't stay with him. So that just shows you that maybe the Alpha's sort of tuned up for the straights, and the McLaren here is tuned up for the corners.
It's quite possible different setups are, that's capable. Alan may prefer that lower downforce just to get through the turns as quick, get through the straights, as much as possible, with Plaster preferring a bit more front end grip. Crazy Legs has came out of pit lane. He is now at the back of the field on the hard tyre, and he did change that front wing as well, so there was damage due to that spin that you've seen also. He's now back out, having pitted, so he doesn't need to technically pit again, but it's a long way to go on a set of tyres, and we'll see how he does. Meanwhile, Plaster's going around the outside into turn number 10, but no dice on that one, and it's still as you were all around the field. Uzi's catching onto the back of that one as well, and Lyronics just doesn't seem to be able to get the exit out of the final corner to stay close enough to the back of that Red Bull and get the run with the DRS down the front straight. Just doesn't seem to be able to get close enough at the most important part of the lap. Plaster has got past Alan Kay and done it before they've came onto the final corner, but here comes Alan and Uzi, who have both got DRS. They're going to go 3 wide as the McLaren gets absolutely mugged down the front straight there, and Uzi's going to take up 2 places in the space of a straight and 1 corner around the outside of the Alpha, either side of the McLaren. That McLaren not quick enough a straight line here, and he gets a bit of a mug in there, does the Papaya car. The Alpha goes back through having lost that place, but Uzi goes, thank you very much, I'll have both of yous, and he moves himself up into 8th. Nice little move there.
Yeah, that was a great move from Uzi there, and like you said, Andy, that McLaren, just in a straight line already, it seemed to be losing pace on Alan Kay, even when he had DRS. So when Alan Kay had the DRS, you could really only see one way that was going, as they now make their way through turn 9 now, and Uzi's just trying to get away now from that Alfa Romeo and trying to get away from that battle. He's done well to catch up, he's done well to recover so far. He's back up to 8th place after his moment at turn 7 and 8 there, as we now head through that chicane of turns 11 and 12. I'd call it the chicane. But you see Alan Kay there still trying to stay on the back of Uzi here. And now maybe Alan Kay is switching his focus rather to defend now rather than to attack, because he got the exit of turn 14 all wrong, and they're going side by side. They make contact there on the exit of turn 15 and on the entrance of turn 16, and they both sort of backed out of the move altogether. So, well, I'm not quite sure what happened there. You saw Alan Kay just not get the great exit out of turn 15. Plaster maybe looking for a move up the inside here, but no, he backs out of it. So, bizarre incident between the two of them there, and I think I'll just put it down as a racing incident.
Yeah, I think I would agree with you on that one. What Plaster really needs to do, get within DRS range. He needs to really get that battery charged up. It's down at 10%. If he can stay close enough through the corners, he can maybe just turn it down to 0, charge it up for a lap or two, and then try and see if he can get close enough. I think that's going to be his best chance if he wants to do anything before the pit stop phase. Lyronix is looking a little bit closer to the back of White on this lap, though, as they come towards the final couple of corners into 14 and 15, and they're that abomination of a chicane. How they needed to get rid of the last two corners, I don't know. They used to be fantastic. And now, can the championship leader do anything? He set the fastest lap of the race that time by a 121.8, and you can see I'm on board with him. He's gaining, but just into the braking zone. It's not a really long braking zone. You're braking at about 80 metres before the corner, and he just can't get close enough through the final corner to be able to take advantage as Plaster picks up a time penalty for multiple warnings. I think that's the first one of the race as he takes liberties with the curb through turn 15 as well. Now he's right on the back of Allen with DRS. ERS management, the battery's only at 2 though. It's turned it up to 3 now, but you can see that Alpha is just streaking away up front. There's just no difference. He's going to go the long way around the outside though with a late braking move, but not far enough and not close enough to be able to get that done. That's going to be one of the most frustrating things as a driver when you're that slow down a straight, even though you know you're quicker through the corners. That's going to be so frustrating for the McLaren driver.
Yeah, absolutely. All that hard work through the corners, and it's all blown away on the straights then. Lap 8 of this Spanish Grand Prix. It is White who still leads. Lyronix in second. Spike there. And just keep this 2-second gap between himself and Lyronix. So he's driving well out there at the moment. Sean in 4th. It's the Gort in 5th. Graham in 6th. Mays in 7th. UC 8th. Alan Kay in 9th. The Plaster rounding out the top 10. George in 11th. Crazy Legs in 12th place. We've got yellow flags in sector 2. And it is Crazy Legs there at turn 4.
He's damaged his wing again by the looks of it on the his right hand side, which is now our left. If you're looking at it now, comes into turn 5. That's going to be a second pit stop for the Haas driver, and this day's just gone from bad to worse for him, and he'll be looking towards it. Oh, he's just gone straight on towards turn 8. I think he's deciding he's maybe going to retire. Yep, he's retired from the session, and that is your first DNF off the race. Already made a pit stop, more damage to the front wing, and Crazy Legs has decided enough is enough. Which, considering there's only 12 drivers, I don't know if I would have done that this early, because if a few drop out, you're going to guarantee yourself some points. Does mean now, if you see the leaders going through, that car's now just off to the side of the track between turns 8 and 9. I've not seen safety cars in this race yet, and I don't think we're going to here because it looks like it's been cleared up, but that's a position in real life that you would normally see at least a virtual safety car. So leaders have been lucky there. That's not caused any scenarios. Lyronix is right in the back of the gearbox now, so he's really closed up. So this is going to be the important bit. Can he get a run out of this chicane and through the final corner? Can he get the traction down, and can he follow close enough? He's much closer this time. Surely this is going to be a move for the lead of the race. DRS is now wide open. He's got the up to overtake mode. They're both in overtake mode. A little bit of a touch there between the front wheel and the side pod, but the Racing Point is through and into the lead of the race. It's taken 10 laps. It's been a resolute defence from White, but he's had to give up that lead of the race, and Lyronix now moves into the lead. Plaster had sneaked by Alan Kay into turn 10, but the Alpha sneaked back through again, and again that's going to be frustrating because I checked the fastest laps. Plaster, his fastest lap is about 6 tenths quicker than the Alphas, so he's going to be getting really annoyed looking at that rear wing. He's right on the back of him now, and he's got much more battery life now. No, he doesn't actually. Alan Kay has got the battery life, and look at him in the slipstream, pulls out with DRS, but then he just seems to hit like maximum turbulence, just doesn't want to go any faster. But he's going to brake late round the outside, and can he get the traction down, hold the position finally? He does, and Plaster's finally got that move done. Alan Kay's going to fight back. Can the Irishman do anything through this torturous turn 3? He's going to look up the inside into turn 4. Can he get the move done? Goes to the inside, Plaster runs wide a little bit, but I think the McLaren's now got the inside line, and if he can get a good exit and a good run through here, that should finally be the place done for the McLaren.
Oh, Alan Kay's gone!
The ball.
Back end just completely stepped out for Alan Kay on the exit of turn 5. Into the wall he goes. And that's going to be another bit of front end plate off as he taps the wall on the right hand side as well. That's hugely frustrating for Alan Kay. Battling away with Plaster, lost that position. Now he's lost that bit of front wing. That is going to be hugely frustrating for the Irishman. And well, he might come back to the pits. He might prolong this stint. But you can see already actually through turn 9. Yeah, that's such a loss of downforce. He's going to have to come back to the pits to get that repaired.
Yeah, definitely. So just traction. Not enough of it as he came out of turn number 5, just lit the tyres up and round she went. I know Alan's been doing what I've been doing in this game, which is doing no assists, so no traction control, no ABS as far as I'm aware, and it's so easy to do that, especially in these slower corners. The torque of the cars just spins the wheels up so quickly, you have to short shift your way through, and it's spun round them, and once it goes, usually it takes an absolute Herculean effort to get it back pointing in the right direction again. So he's into pit lane. It's not the worst case scenario. It was on the medium tyres, so it's not as if he was on the hards and going long. It's going to ruin his race because it's cost him a lot of time, but if he can stretch these hard tyres out 22 laps it would be now. It is possible. It's a long stretch, but he could maybe do it, and he might still pick up some points towards the end of this race with only 11 drivers left in the field.
Absolutely. White still trying to chase down Lyronix then for the lead of this race as we enter lap number 12. It is at Racing Point, that championship leader Lyronix who leads this race. White it is in second. There is Spike in third, and you have to give credit to Spike. He is really trying to stay on the back of Lyronix and White. The gap between himself and White is 2.3 seconds. Now, a couple of laps ago, that was around 2 seconds. So he's really only lost about 0.3 of a second over the last 3 laps. Now, bear in mind that Lyronix and White have been battling that position, and it looks like White is just on that cusp of exiting that DRS zone even. Just on the cusp of 1 second that was there, but he will have DRS for this time down towards turn 10. Alan Kay on the soft tyres now, so maybe he's looking for a couple of attacking stints now, maybe softs and then mediums towards the end of the race. He won't be able to get those soft tyres to the end of the race, that's for sure. Oh, Lyronix loses the back end there through turn 12 and somehow manages to keep control and stay in the lead, but he's now under attack from White then, who's right on his gearbox. The Racing Point has to do so much now to defend from this Red Bull, but White had to short shift there through that chicane in order to keep the wheel spin down, and it's lost him all that time he gained there. Now he's got the DRS, he's in overtake mode. You can see he's closing very, very quickly now down towards turn 1. Where will he go? He'll go to the right hand side, down the inside, in towards turn 1, and the Red Bull takes the lead once again. The Racing Point wants to try and find a way back through, but through turn 3 he's going to get a huge waft of that dirty air, and White then retakes the lead of the Spanish Grand Prix. Great move there down towards turn 1.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be too far back there, but as you say, Lyronix just getting a bit sideways, coming through turn 11 and up the hill of turn 12. Managed to collect it together, but it would have warmed the tyres up a little bit, which wouldn't have helped his traction through the next couple of corners. And then White acting like the great white shark, just pouncing on the prey, down into turn number 1. Lovely braking move into the turn 1, and he takes that position back. So these guys are fighting. Spike's now got himself within DRS range of these two because of all this though, so we've now got ourselves a bit of a freeway scrap if that Mercedes on the hard tyre, remember, can hang on to the back of these two over the next couple of laps, because these guys in the mediums, those tyres will be starting to go off, they'll be starting to wear out, they'll be starting to get to that cliff point within the next few laps. Uzi's into the pit lane as well now, in 10th position, so It's not going to be long, and there's Lyronix, he's going for pit lane, and so is White actually, so they've both gone for pit lane now. They've both had enough of those medium tyres. Let's see if they can get slowed down in time. Yes, they do indeed. So we've finally got the leaders into pit lane. They should come out behind the Gore and in front of Graham, because they've got 29 seconds over the Toro Rosso, and it's about 21 seconds to make a pit stop. So Spike into the lead of the race. They're both coming in and onto the hard compound tyres. And where is White? White is out in front of the racing point and a good bit of a distance. I think Lyronix had to be held there before getting a move on, and you can see that's the lapped car, that's the Gort going through. The other car was the lapped car of Alan Kay, who stayed right out the way there. So White out in third position, Lyronix in fifth, so there's actually a car between them. White's managed to keep ahead of the Gort. That could be useful later on in the race. Spike goes into the lead. He's got nearly 16 seconds over Sean, who would expect to see him pit lane before long.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that could be the difference between those two stops. You saw the Red Bull guys, just like in real life, really slick, really quick there. Just seemed to be a bit of an issue in that Racing Point pit box there. Lyronix was slow getting away. Just look at it back on the stream now, and that is the difference there. White rejoined in third place, and Lyronix has rejoined behind the Gort. Now, Lyronix is on fresh hard tyres. The Gort there is on 13 lap old hard tyres. So it will come down to a move out on track. The Gort won't have to pit for a while longer yet, but look at Spike asserting that dominance. 1:21.3, fastest lap of the race. He's in that clean air now and wants to go for it. The Gort makes a little bit of a mistake on the exit of turn 13. There's Lyronix now attacking down towards the chicane, being aggressive now into that chicane, and he's got the move done. That was a move he needed to make quickly, and he pounced on that mistake from the Renault. He's now up to fourth place.
That was actually a really, really nice move. Actually, it looked very clean from what I was watching. Sean's came into pit lane from what was P2, but Lyronix needed to get that done. I'm sure he would have done it under DRS down the front straight as Graham picks up a speeding penalty in pit lane. But yeah, he wanted to get that done sooner than later, and now he can go after White and chase back up. He's got 2.7 seconds though. Remember, these guys came into the pits with about half a second between them in the same lap, so that pit stop really did cost Lyronix a good wee bit of time there, and it's given White a bit of breathing space at the moment. Spike though has done what I was thinking he was doing, staying close enough but keeping the tyres in that delta, keeping them in that range, and as soon as you got some proper clean air, boom, there you go, a 1:21.355. It's about a tenth quicker than Lyronix managed before he pitted, and it's about 4 to 5 times quicker than what White's managed so far in this race as well.
Yuzi has made a move on George then through, I believe that was turn 12. Yuzi went up the inside but actually caught the grass, so sort of was out of a bit of control there. George then moved left to make sure that he was not going to cut off Yuzi there, and I think it was actually a little bit too nice to him there, because he gave him all the room in the world heading through turn 12 there, and it was a nice easy move then for the Toro Rosso driver. He goes up to 8th place, and I was like, I'm able to describe that so nicely because it just appeared on the stream there. That's how far behind it is.
Yeah, that would be that 3-year-old Mac you were talking about to me beforehand. It's not doing what you want it to do.
Absolutely not. Well, White then 20.6 seconds behind Spike. So, as you were saying, Andy, around about 21 seconds in the pit lanes. It's going to be really tight between the two of them right now.
Yeah, if Spike was to pit, I mean, I do expect he'll probably stay at least another 4 laps. Goodness me, that was a loud one. Sorry, don't know if you heard that through the microphone, but that was a big one outside in the thunder. But yeah, I think you go at least another 4 laps. Won't want to be doing the mediums for too long, as they will obviously wear out. George is into pit lane as well now, down in 9th position. But it's going to be very close, around about roughly 21 seconds. At the moment, if he was to pit, there's a very good chance he would come out just ahead of Lyronix on fresh tyres, which would also then be the softer compound as well, because he's likely to put the medium tyres on also. So that could be interesting. Oh, he oozes off the track at turn 1 and 2. Luckily ghosted there as he floored it in the gravel to get back onto the track as Plaster came by and took over 8. That's another mistake from the Toro Rosso driver. He's made a few of them tonight, unfortunately for him. Yellow flag in sector 3 somewhere. Not sure what's going on here. See if I can figure out. It's disappeared, so whoever it was maybe just shortcutting the chicane after making a mistake.
Mays here is in 7th place. Of course he did start in 11th place, having not been able to set a lap time in qualifying. Currently on the hard tyres, 2 seconds behind Graham, and it's been a story of hot and cold for Toro Rosso. Graham seems to be having a good race here, but Yuzi's made quite a few mistakes this race already. We've already seen him off at turn 8 there, and also just that little bit of a moment at turns 2 and 3 there, just on the entrance of turn 3 anyway. So it's been a tough race for Yuzi, but this is the thing though, this is the perseverance sticking in. He's in 9th place at the moment, 6 seconds now behind Plaster. That's just what he's got to focus on now. It will be frustrating making those mistakes, but now he's just got to keep his head down and keep focused. There's still points up for grabs here.
Definitely so, and you know, we're only 11 drivers, you can easily pick up some points here tonight. This is the kind of race where you want to have that consistency of being here each week, because when you do get these weeks with smaller numbers and stuff like that, you are going to pick up points. The Gort has gone off at the top of the hill before turn 13. Coming into the chicane now, so he's got damage to the wing as well, both sides on the end plate, so he's really had a right thump. And he's crashed!
He's hit the pit lane entrance, understeered into the wall, and that is the Gort's day, absolutely done and dusted. I just misread how much grip he'd actually lost there, and from 4th place, he's crashed out on the pit lane entrance. My goodness.
Now here's a question, because of the way the game's done it, it's pitched him back out into the racing line for the final turn. I think it is now gone, yes it is indeed. So that's a lucky one, but yeah, he knocked off both end plates, both sides off the front wing end plate were gone, so he's obviously thumped the wall quite well, and there's just no grip in pit lane as it is, because it's not the normal racing line, of course, and with that amount of your front wing missing, it's just going to be like an Asda shopping trolley into the wall. Just took too much speed, a bit too much haste, so he tried to make up for the mistake and get into pit lane as quick as he could, and he's now out of the race, and that means everybody that finishes now will score at least one championship point, because it's only 10 runners now. So, and that's why, as I was saying earlier when Crazy Legs dropped out, you maybe just want to keep going, because you can pick up points very easily.
Absolutely. What this means as well now that there's only 10 runners, once Alan Kay passes that retired car of the Gort just at the pit lane entrance, what that will mean now is that drivers could now go on to a set of the softest possible tyre. They're all in the top 10. There will be that extra point up for grabs no matter what. So stay in this race now, you know, put on a set of soft tyres towards the end, and who knows, you might walk away here with an extra point in your hand.
It's quite possible. I mean, for example, if I look through, everybody except Spike has stopped now. I'd imagine Alan Kay will probably do that towards the end of the race. George maybe do the same if it was to stay the same sort of gaps. Maybe get it down. Graham would. Oh, Plaster's off up ahead, trying to stay out of the way of the race leader. He's going off at turn 13, 12 that is, sorry, going up the hill. I think he just caught the curb and just tried to stay out of the way of the leader with the blue flags, and was just maybe a bit over opportunistic in staying out of the way there. And now he's got the Toro Rosso, which is of Yuzi, trying to take 7th place from him now, so that's not helped Plaster at all. Spike's into the pits now. It's been a really good stint from the Mercedes driver, because he's managed to keep that gap at about 20 and a bit seconds. This is going to be very, very close as they come out of pit lane. Spike's now underway. I'm trying to see where he is in comparison, because it keeps showing his pit crew. Where is White? Where is that Mercedes? I'm on board with the Red Bull. There's Spike. It's going to be close, but the Red Bull's going to take it. But look behind. Lyronix is going to come out behind Spike. So that longer stint and keeping the tyres in the right operating temperature and keeping enough grip in them for when the front two pitted has gained Spike a position. So instead of doing the undercut and pitting early, the overcut and running longer with those harder tyres is what a treat for Spike. He's now within DRS range on White and on a completely fresh set of medium compound tyres compared to the 6-lap-old hard tyres for the cars from front and behind. So Spike has got a fantastic chance of taking the race victory here at Catalonia.
Absolutely. Half a second, that's all that's in it, and on those medium tyres it won't take them long whatsoever to get them up to racing temperature as we make our way now down towards turn 10 here. This looks like it's going to be moved down towards turn 1. Spike is just setting it up. Look how close he is with that fresh grip, that fresh rubber against 6-lap-old hard tyres of White here as we make our way now towards turn 13. Now down towards that chicane of 14 and 15. Crucial to get the right exit here. It's crucial all the way down towards turn 1. White opting for a wider line to try and get more speed. But look at Spike carrying much more speed through the corner. And with the DRS open side by side. And he gets the move done into the lead of the race. The Mercedes goes. And it is Spike now who leads down towards turn 1. Lyronics there just behind them set the fastest lap of the race in that racing point. But there he is in the Mercedes. Spike leads with 13 laps to go.
That extra grip in the DRS where the battery turned up, Spike absolutely mugged them down the straight. It was so easy, it was a slam dunk. But it just shows you the grip of those fresh tyres, having just came out of the pits, now they're up to temperature. Grippier tyres as well. He had the ERS charged up as well, DRS to help as well, and that was an easy move. And it's looking like going on to the hard tyres for Spike at this point in time is proven to be a pretty inspired choice from the Mercedes driver. And you just think, if the Gort hadn't made that mistake, he made another one earlier on in the race as well, so he'd done the same thing. He was in 4th position. Where could he have finished up? He could have been fighting off 4th place with Sean towards the end of the race. You never know, but Spike's looking very good at the moment. And he's already out of DRS range before they've even finished a lap. That's how much more grip and pace he's got in that Mercedes.
Yeah, absolutely, and it'll be interesting to see how much he beats this fastest lap by. I'm expecting at least a high 20, and it's a low 20, 120.3 from Spike there. The gap is now 1.6 seconds. That is incredible pace on those medium tyres, but he's got to remember he's got 12 laps now to get those tyres to the end. There's all the reason to go for it and get the gap as big as you can, but you've got to be careful not to overdrive those tyres and keep them in a good operating window. We know Spike, as you said, Andy, drives to a delta, and he won't really exceed that unless he wants to really attack towards the end of a race. It's worked for him so far, and right now 2 seconds, that says it all.
Definitely, so that was definitely hammer time from Spike. Since he's in the Mercedes, might as well use the analogy, but it's worked an absolute treat for him, and he's disappearing off into the distance pretty quickly. I expect he should be able to keep those tyres in the right operating temperature, in the right range, and as long as he can avoid any mistakes, he's in a good position at the moment. That's the first time as well, sorry, I don't know if you had the same shot as me, but I was on board with him there. It gave the rear facing on the Mercedes where you can see the engine cover, and I've noticed that with the update they've actually added in the red star for Nicky Lauda into the game as well. It's a brilliant touch.
Yeah, absolutely. Spike then in the Mercedes leading this one. Lap 23 out of 33. We have 11 laps to go here, and you can see there Spike 2.5 seconds ahead. Have a look at this battle then for that second place. White versus Lyronics, both on the same tyres, both on the same strategy. And I wonder here, they've got that sort of 24-second gap between themselves and Sean. Could one of them coax the other into the pit lane? It could be a fake out here. You never know. If they've both realised that they're losing time to Spike, they might just put on a set of soft tyres and see who can get the fastest lap.
It's quite possible for them to do so, but we can, they're far enough ahead of Sean, so it'd still be second and third. But at the same time, if Spike was to make a mistake, you'd want to be close enough to capitalise on it. So it's a tricky one to decide here. It's certainly not going to be something we see in the next coming laps, that's for sure. Maybe in the last 3 laps, depending on what's happened in the next few moments' time, then we'll be able to see what happens. You never know, but they do certainly have the gap to Sean, who's in 4th, 25 seconds behind these two fighting. Graham's in 5th, and he's 31 seconds behind Sean, but he's only got Mays about a second and a bit behind him. So Sean's in the best position for doing this later on in the race for definite. These two could do, but considering they're fighting with each other as well, they'll want to stay close to Spike in case anything does happen. Here comes Lyronic, so DRS, but again that short braking zone is just not going to be good enough. We've got a yellow flag in sector 1.
That was
seeing what's going on.
No, that was just Alan Kay getting out of the way of this battle for second place. So just saw his ghost car towards the side. Here is Lyronics now heading towards turn 4. Again, not really an overtaking opportunity, but look how close he is to the back of that gearbox. And of course, those redesigned front wings are designed to make less dirty air. However, it's not much less dirty air. You'll see through the high-speed corners how much Lyronics will have to fight the car and how much understeer he might actually get, especially through turn 7 and 8 there.
Yeah, definitely. So turn 3 is the killer for that round here. Eats the tyres up very badly also. You can see though what Lyronics is doing. If you jump on board between him and White, they've both got the ERS battery turned down to 0 at the moment, but Lyronics has done... Oh, there's a yellow flag there. That's Yuzi.
Yuzi is
I've just seen the car flying off, yeah.
So that is, well, that's his day done then. So the Toro Rosso driver has not had the greatest day whatsoever and retires from 8th place in this race. So that's going to promote George and Alan Kay up a position once they pass that car. However, Lyronics here, looking at it, he's much closer than he was last lap. Here we are then, down towards turn 1. It's White versus Lyronics, Racing Point versus Red Bull, down towards turn 1. And look at that, White around the outside, holds on to 2nd place. That's great defensive driving from the Red Bull. And Lyronics there can only watch as he was defending really well there. Down towards turn 4 they go. This time Lyronics tries the outside. Running side by side, a little bit of a touch of the side pod, but Lyronics' car says no, it wants to snap out on the back end there. A little bit of a touch on the side pod there as Lyronics goes up the inside at turn 5 and he gets that position. The Racing Point now up to 2nd place. And Lyronics' car there, the back end just wanted to step out on him through turn 4. That's why he lost so much grip there. But now the Racing Point up into 2nd place. But what that battling has done has meant that Spike has got even more of a gap between them now. 3.6 seconds between himself and Lyronics now. But Lyronics will now realise 2nd place scores more points than 3rd. So I think he'll be happy with that.
Yeah, definitely so, and you know, the little bit of the bump into turn 5 between them, racing incident, I don't think White realised that Lyronics was as far alongside as he actually was. He started turning into the corner a little bit before realising that the Racing Point was there, but it was a great defensive move into turn 1 where he stuck it out around the outside under braking, and now he's going to try and repay the favour, but he's not close enough. He's gaining, but he's just going to catch at the wrong moment. And he needs to try and charge that battery up and see if he can do it again next time by. But it was a great little battle side by side through basically the first 5 corners, the entire first sector of the track between these two. And there was only a little bump here at turn number 5 coming up, and that was it. So that's the kind of racing we want to see. It's the kind of racing that you want to promote as well. And fantastic stuff between the two of them. White will fancy his chances of getting that back. You can see the lap car a plaster up ahead as well, so that could cause a wee issue too. But as you say, Spike's got himself up the road now. He's now 4 seconds clear of these two fighting, so he just needs to keep it rolling, keep it pointing in the right direction, and he should be on his way, hopefully, to picking up his first victory of the season. I'm very carefully choosing my words because we all know what happens when you say something like that.
Well, it's mainly you as well, Andy. Well, Mays is catching Graham here. Mays is catching Graham. It's been a long time coming between these two over the entire stint, but there you go. Mays is closing on the gap. He's showing on the telemetry on the hard tyres of Spikes. It's a 120.0. So I'm going to say that Mays is actually on the hard tyres, not the mediums. But he is closing up to Graham there, bit by bit. It's been a long time coming. As I've said, over this stint that Mays has had, he's been just closing that gap. 10th after 10th after 10th. And finally, he's within DRS range. He might have a go here. Maybe down towards turn 10.
Yeah, he's definitely is on the White World hard tyres because he's on that with me. I was watching that as well, and I've just realised, jumping back, White's lost 2 seconds in a lap to Lyronics. They've both got past plaster now, but what's happened there? Because that Red Bull was in DRS range on the Racing Point, and now he's needing to gain 1.5 seconds or so just to get back into range now. So something's happened. Well, because we were both looking at the same thing, as I was looking at that battle as well between Mays and Graham, and something's happened to White, and he's dropped back from Lyronics. It's given the German some breathing room now, and not what he would have wanted there, White. Pole position sitter, remember, as well, starting on the pole, and currently on for a podium, which is still going to be a decent result, but he would have been hoping for a wee bit more, and something's happened. He's dropped behind and now dropping further back as well. He's now 3 seconds down, so I wonder if he's picked up a bit of an issue, or if he's having some problems with the car. Maybe he's got a bit of a technical issue or something, I don't know, but he's dropping back at a vast rate of knots to the back of that racing point.
Well, see, Mays is still trying to catch Graham there. The gap has increased back to over a second, so Graham has responded. He's probably been given the hurry up by his engineer, and he's able to pull out. The gap of now 1.2 seconds. Lap 28 out of 33. It is Spike who leads this race. Lyronix is in second. White there in third. Sean, who's had a bit of a race of his own at the moment, he's in fourth place. Graham is in fifth. Mays in sixth. Blaster running in seventh place. George is in eighth, and Alan Kay running in ninth place right now, looking to try and get those soft tyres to the end of this race.
Alan's actually pitted again 4 laps ago, so that's a fresh set of soft tyres he is now on. So remember, he went on to them earlier after breaking his front wing down at turn number 5, so he's on a fresher set of tyres, picking up a 3-second time penalty for his troubles as well. Not that that's going to make too much difference to his finishing position at the moment though, as he is 9th and the last runner just now. Sean, as you say, he's not done anything wrong in this race, the Ferrari driver, but he's having a bit of a lonely one. He's 30 seconds behind White, and he's 35 seconds ahead of Graham and Mays. So it's been a lonely one out there. I'd expect to see him in the pits maybe in the next lap to put on a set of soft tyres and go for that extra point. I mean, why not? Might as well. See if you can do it. His teammate though, still trying to get onto the back of that Toro Rosso with Graham. The only Toro Rosso left in the race after Uzi crashed out earlier on as well. 3 retirements, Uzi, the Gort and Crazy Legs. Crazy Legs not having the greatest of races, had to pit early with a broken front wing and then damaged it again before retiring on track. The Gort made some damage to his wing, trying to come at the pit lane to repair it, and understeered straight into the partitionary wall between the pit lane and the track and took his front wheel off. And Uzi lost it. I think he had a couple of spins during the race, did the Toro Rosso with Uzi, and then he put it in the gravel. I think it was just up here at turn 13 as George has dropped out of the race as well. So what has happened to George and the Williams? That yellow flag's disappeared pretty quickly. So that now we're down to just the 8 runners in this race. And I'm going to see if I can figure out what happened to the Williams driver, but he is now out of the race, meaning we've only got 8 drivers left running, so a minimum of 4 points for everybody, as Plaster running very wide through the chicane section.
Well, I thought Mays was going to have a move round the outside at turn 1 there, really hounding on Graham now as we head through turn 3, but there's that dirty air we've been talking about. Mays there just struggling to have that grip through turn 3 on the run towards turn 4. 4 laps to go then, 3.5 if you're picky, and it is Spike who has that fastest lap and has it by 9/10 of a second, 120.098. He currently will walk away with that extra point. Lyronix is the closest person to him, 120.9 is his fastest on those set of hard tyres, but 16 lap old hard tyres against 10 lap old mediums. There might actually be that sort of performance crossover now, where the medium tyres might actually be performing the same as the hard, so I don't think Lyronix and White should be too disheartened. There may be a chance they could try and sneak that fastest lap.
You never know, it could happen. I mean, in terms of the gap, it was up to just over 4 seconds. It's down to about 3.7, so it's, you know, needs something drastic to change. The race leader is catching up to the back of Mays and Graham, who are having their own bit of a ding-dong over 5th and 6th, and they're going to get the race leader giving them the hurry-up very shortly as well. Mays coming through the final corner. He's got the battery turned up to 5. And Graham's not got his turned up at all. DRS as well for the Ferrari. He's not even going to bother following the slipstream. He's just going to sail on by on the racing line and cup of tea, newspaper, read the front pages, then turn into the first corner, and then go back to the paper and realise that Boris Johnson is Prime Minister and put the paper down in disgust.
Politics, sure. Here comes Graham then. Thought he looked a lot closer then in towards turn 4, just on the end of sector 1. But yeah, there's those blue flags being waved now. So both Mays and Graham here will have to jump out of the way. But there could be a move in this one. We've seen it before. Blue flags being waved and then drivers trying to take advantage by trying to overtake. We've seen it happen to Trulli before, where he was too nice and lost a position under blue flags. But it looks like Graham there just let Spike have the position before turn 9. So when does Mays let off the position? He's going to have it let him pass down towards turn 10, but then you look at that, quickly gets back to the racing line and prevents Graham from having a go. There's Sean then coming into the pits, and he's going to go for that extra point. He's strapped on a set of soft tyres, and where will he rejoin? He'll rejoin in the clearest air possible to try and set that fastest lap of the race. It's a 1:20.098 he's going to aim for, so he's got to get into the 1:19s to have a chance of walking away with that fastest lap point.
Yeah, not surprised to see him having a go at it. He's got the clear air. The next car behind him is the race leader who will be lapping him. And the nearest battle is the one between Mays and Graham. So he's got plenty of space to do it. Not surprised to see him do it. It means he's going to have to do it in the final lap though.
White's in as well.
White's decided coming through. Oh, yeah, with dropping off, he's down to like nearly 10 seconds behind Lyronics. So yeah, he's maybe decided, you know what, I might as well. I'm dropping behind. What's to lose? He's far enough ahead of Sean, so he might as well have a crack at it as well. Really dropped off the back of Lyronics, so after getting past, he was right behind. Obviously, whatever happened when we were watching Mays and Graham earlier on, seeing him drop 2 and a bit seconds behind as he came into pit lane there. It was about a good 5, nearly 10 seconds roughly, so he's really dropped off the back as the race has gone on. So he's got no risk there as long as he doesn't make a mistake while he's going for the fastest lap. You might as well go for it as well. And we're seeing he is pretty quick as well. Graham not getting out of the way of Lyronics, is trying to lap him. They've both got DRS, so you're allowed to go past 3 blue flags before you have to let someone through. He's trying to leave the wider line. Lyronics is going to get him. No, he cuts him off. Graham's just cut right across there in front of the second place man. He's ran wide and Karmas came back and bit him there. And, oh, new 5-second penalty for ignoring blue flags for Mays. Now, that's a bit... I think that's a bit unfortunate. In fact, I would put that the other way around, because Lyronics wasn't right behind Mays until just before that warning. And yet, Graham was actually cutting across Lyronics, sorry. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Mays tries and contests that, if there is the possibility of doing so, because that seems a bit unfair.
Yeah, I think I'm siding with you on that one, Andy. That was very, very harsh for the stewards to award that to Mays when he was actually the car ahead. He doesn't have to give way to Lyronics until he's right behind him. So, well, there is that, but Mays will have to have that penalty for now. That will be added to his end of race time. Of course, he can go to the stewards to appeal that penalty. Any penalties above those 3-second time penalties that we see on a regular basis, they can be, contested and reviewed. So he will be straight to the steward's office. For now, though, he's got to try and hold off Graham.
Yeah, and I've just realised as well, we're actually in the final lap, and the race leader is coming through the final sector.
Well, absolutely. Well, he's went on that alternate strategy. The rain must have helped him as he makes his way now on towards the chicane. It's a strategic masterclass, as it so often is for Mercedes. Spike then rounds the final corner and makes his way towards the checkered flag. He takes his first race win of the season. Spike wins in Spain. Lyronics crosses the line in second place. And now we've got not only a race between Mays and Graham, which is finished there, and actually Mays is still finished in front. We've now got that fastest lap point to contest. White and Sean, it looks like it's going to be between. What can White do then as he makes his way through the final corner now? He's not got long to do it now as he makes his way towards the line. Has he done it?
Yes.
He has. Yes, he has. 1:19.1. Took a while there for me to even see that, but that's the time to beat then for Sean as he makes his way now. He's got a whole second to find at the moment as he makes his way now through turn 12. On towards 13 and 14 and 15. It's going to be crucial now to avoid those sleeping policemen, the pressure. And all eyes are on Sean now as he makes his way towards now the final corner on those soft tyres. Has he done enough? I don't think he has here.
The scruffy lap.
No, he hasn't.
21. 1:21.1. I can see it on the steering wheel.
Well, there you go then. Spike takes the race win here in Spain, and it is his first race win of the season. Lyronics will finish in second place. That is his first finish of the season that's not been on the top step of the podium. And Spike, I think, will be really, really happy with that one. Started on the hard tyres, made those tyres work, ended on the mediums, and he had that superior pace, drove to that delta he's so famous for doing. And he absolutely took this race win with a great move on Lyronics there, down towards turn 1. Spike then takes the win. It is his first race win of the season, and this is a show of real intent. Looks like, Andy, Spike is back.
Yeah, definitely. So fantastic result from Spike. Great race. Perfect strategy, running the hards to the mediums, worked out brilliant. Kept the temperature, kept the life in them for when the top two pitted, kept that gap, came out just behind White but splitting the two of them, and then able to just jump ahead through the DRS the next time by, pulled away, and nice and simple. He takes the victory. Lyronix in second, so it's still first, second in the first three races for the German. White in third, finishing off the podium. Won't be happy with that, having started on pole position. Though Sean in fourth, the last car on the lead lap. Then it's Mays, Graham, Plaster and Alan Kay rounding out 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th. They're the 8 finishers. The top 4, no penalties, so they pick up my coveted award. George, Yuzi, Gort and Crazy Legs were your 4 DNFs in the race.
And that was your official, unofficial results. The first time I get to say that on the brand new game. And of course, that was quite a race. It had a little bit of everything, I think. You had White there picking up the bonus point for the fast lap of the race with a 1:19.1, so a big congratulations to him. That point deficit between himself and Lyronix was 3, now it's down to 2. You never know how important that could be towards the end of the season, but yeah, Spike picking up the first race win of the season, and that will be a show of real intent towards Lyronix there, who, well, he's only dropped 7 points, and I have to say, that was a pretty good race from Lyronix in the end.
Yeah, definitely. So still a good race. He's still done well. Just didn't quite have the pace. Spike just had the pace in that Mercedes that you need to do. I've just done some quick sums there because Lyronix came into this race 19 points clear of Spike over first and second in the championship. And if my sums are correct, give me a second. I don't know if I've done this right now. Putting me on the spot. Yeah, so Lyronix is now on 69 points with Spike on 55. So the gap has came from 19 down to 14. So it all counts up in the end. Obviously we'll wait for the official standings, which will be posted on the Twitter page, of course. If you haven't already followed it, do so. At TTL_F1. And but yeah, that's definitely what Spike needed, and it was for me personally, if anyone other than Spike is driver of the race, then I think it's wrong.
well, Mays is in with a shout, started 11th and then got up to, I think it was 6th. So I think he's a contender as well. Make sure you're all following the league, as Andy has said, at TTL_F1. You'll see all the graphics and the official results when they are released later on tonight. You can also follow me whilst you're there. It's at KSMCGF1. You can also follow Andy whilst you're there as well.
Indeed, and that is at Andy81287.
What do you reckon, Andy? There's normally something we do after this, and I've forgotten what it was.
Is it a step, or is it a no, it's a corner. Something to do with a corner.
No, it's definitely a straight. It's definitely a straight. Well, go on then. Let's have a commentator's corner. The first one of the new game, the first one of this season. Let's see if we can invite some more people into this party, and let's have a chat with them. That, of course, will be on a separate stream, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure you hit the notification bell so that you're notified when we do go live with that commentator's corner. Andy and I will see you in just a couple of minutes' time.